Good morning, St. Mary's, and a blessed feast of the Epiphany to you. I'd like to offer a few video announcements this week, and then I'll end this week's video with a reading of a long but beautiful poem, Journey of the Magi by T.S. Eliot. But first, announcements. You'll notice that our Magnificat will start going out on Friday at noon instead of Thursday at noon. Honestly, this is to give me just one more day to get a meditation and video together for you so that we can have some form of reflection as a part of our Magnificat each week. So look for that on Fridays at noon rather than Thursdays at noon. Second, this Sunday, though today, January 6th, is the Feast of the Epiphany, this Sunday, January 8th, is when we will observe the Feast of the Epiphany. This is an important feast of the year, and I hope you will join us for Holy Eucharist at St. Mary's. On Tuesday night of this coming week, Sophia Twaddell, who has done some teaching at St. Anne's and at our joint Lenten programs with St. Mary's and St. Paul's, will be teaching us a little bit about morning prayer. Over the last year in 2022, St. Mary's experienced morning prayer in a more regular and new way. And Sophia will be framing that a bit for us, offering some historical background, offering some perspective on it. This is all a part of our learning as we discern together what it is that we need from our liturgical life together. The book, The Liturgy Explained, that we read, and this conversation are sort of part of a piece. I hope you'll join us. A link to that Zoom meeting is in the e-news. And then finally, I hope you will save the date. January 29th will be the St. Mary's annual meeting. We'll have our regular service of Holy Eucharist and follow that with a potluck brunch. So more information on that to come, but please save the date, and I hope that you will join us on that day. But now for this Feast of the Epiphany, I'd like to share with you Journey of the Magi by T.S. Eliot. I love this poem because it sort of sets up one of the Magi reflecting back, one of the kings reflecting back on the journey that they took many years ago, and how that journey represented both a recognition of birth, the birth of Jesus, that is, and the birth of something new, but also represented a death of the old dispensation, a death of the old world of these kings, a death of a life that they thought they understood. It's a really wonderful poem, and I'd like to share it with you now. The Journey of the Magi by T.S. Eliot. A cold coming we had of it, just the worst time of the year. For a journey, and such a long journey. The ways deep and the weather sharp, the very dead of winter, and the camels galled, sore-footed, refractory, lying down in the melting snow. There were times we regretted the summer palaces on slopes, the terraces and the silken girls bringing sherbet, then the camel men cursing and grumbling and running away and wanting their liquor and women, and the night fires going out and the lack of shelters, and the cities hostile and the towns unfriendly, and the villages dirty and charging high prices. A hard time we had of it. At the end, we preferred to travel all night, sleeping in snatches, with the voices singing in our ears, saying that this was all folly. Then at dawn, we came down to a temperate valley, wet, below the snow line, smelling of vegetation, with a running stream and a watermill beating the darkness, and 3 trees on the low sky, and an old white horse galloped away in the meadow. Then we came to a tavern with vine leaves over the lintel, 6 hands at an open door dicing for pieces of silver, and feet kicking the empty wineskins. But there was no information, and so we continued and arrived at evening, not a moment too soon, finding the place. It was, you may say, satisfactory. All this was a long time ago, I remember, and I would do it again, but set down this. Were we led all that way for birth or death? There was a birth, certainly. We had evidence and no doubt. I had seen birth and death, and I had thought that they were different. This birth was hard and bitter agony for us, like death, our death. We return to our places, these kingdoms, but no longer at ease here in the old dispensation, with an alien people clutching their gods. I should be glad of another death. That was Journey of the Magi by T.S. Eliot. A peaceful and blessed day of the Epiphany to you, and we will see you on Sunday.